Hi, I'm Tayo and welcome back to Seasoumi. On today's episode, I'm going to be telling you about my spring experience, one that came after a long winter. If you've been following my story from winter, you'd know some basic things about me right now. But if you didn't, quick recap. This is super story. Well, I was a lawyer in Nigeria. When I moved to the Netherlands, I assumed my journey would simply continue just in a different country. Well, it didn't. My master's took longer than expected. I applied for jobs. I was rejected again and again and again. And at some point, the rejection became internal. I started questioning whether anything about me still mattered. I worked survival jobs, cleaning, warehouse, anything available. And survival mode changed me. Although it built resilience, but it also shrunk how I felt about myself and how I saw myself. There was a period where I genuinely didn't think my law degree mattered. And after being told so many times, I began to downplay my own qualifications. I started thinking maybe I overestimated myself. After a while, and eventually, and with the inspiration of some friends and LinkedIn recruiters, I made a decision that instead of applying everywhere, which I used to do because I just wanted a job, I would specialize. And I decided to specialize in the space of anti-money laundering. I studied, I got certified, and applied intentionally. And in August 2020, I got the job. That was the beginning of my spring. Movement began. Yay, I got the job of my dreams. And all was right with the world, right? Wrong. Because spring did not feel triumphant. It felt unfamiliar. I entered into a world of payments because I started to work for a payments company and I was to specialize in financial investigations. Now, financial investigations is a very technical and highly regulated space I'd never worked in before. Externally, people saw a lawyer and assumed competence, like, oh, you could pick it up, you can easily get it. But internally, I knew I was still learning. Sometimes a task would be described as something that needed someone more experienced, and then it would be assigned to me. And I would think, experienced? Me? No, no, not me. Now, that gap between expectation and internal reality is where imposter syndrome lives, and women report experiencing it more often in professional environments. Now, I didn't say it didn't happen to men, but women experience it more. Women report experiencing it more. Because repeated rejection had conditioned me to expect no, I wasn't good enough. I didn't have enough quality. Even when the opportunity was there, my confidence still hadn't fully caught up. There were tasks I hesitated to pick up, not because I was incapable, but because survival mode had trained me to stay small. I had to unlearn that. I had to learn that humility is not shrinking and lack of confidence is not humility. At some point, I was scared that I was a fraud and one day I'd be found out, and it began to affect my confidence so much at work. So one day I had to chat with myself. I had to sit myself down and I asked myself, when does competence actually begin? Well, for me, it began when I stopped asking, do I belong here? And I started asking, what does growth require from me? And the answer was responsibility. I leaned into feedback from different people. I asked questions and I began to build connections intentionally, not because of fear. I was paired with someone who was more experienced. That mattered because they could show me the possibilities I couldn't comprehend and how to navigate the new territory I was unfamiliar with. I also connected with peers at my level. That mattered because we had similar experiences. We could relate with and help each other. We could tell each other about our growing pains and how our challenges were not unique. We could also share techniques with each other, and that really mattered a lot. But something else shifted my perspective. And this is it. When friends and acquaintances outside my field would ask, what do I do? At first, I would think, what am I even doing? But then I would explain it. I'd tell them, we analyze patterns in payments, we identify risk signals, we prevent financial crime before it escalates. And they were curious, they asked questions, they found it interesting. And I realized something important. I wasn't just learning, I was contributing. I knew something that my friends didn't, and my friends were very smart people. But I knew something they didn't. I brought something unique to the table. My voice had value, my knowledge had value, and my contribution mattered. Over the time, competence replaced fear, and my confidence was built. Not instantly, but gradually. And that room that once felt intimidating became a space I could navigate now with clarity. Now, spring didn't erase my winter, but it revealed what winter had built. and eventually I grew into the room. Thank you very much for staying with me so far. In the next episode, we will lean into a shared reflection, joined by a very good friend and colleague of mine, as we unpack what this season of spring holds for us. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!